Scorpio Sky, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Zay, collectively known as SoCal Uncensored or
SCU! This is Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the worst podcast I've ever been on. Word.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the best podcast you never heard of. My name's Tom. I am your host. Getting the show out a little bit late this week just because I've been working like crazy the last few weeks, so I apologize, but today is Wednesday, December 1st, and this is basically going to be all the stuff from last week, and hopefully this weekend on Sunday we'll be back to our normal routine, so... But I want to thank everybody for watching, listening, and subscribing, as always, on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts from. Make sure to check out CatchHookShoot.com, where you can find all the podcasts, videos, interviews, photo gallery, all that kind of fun stuff, as well as the CHS shop, where you can get all your merchandise. Head to ProWrestlingTees.com/CatchHookShoot for some other t-shirts that you won't find on CatchHookShoot.com, and you can find all that on our link tree at linktree/CatchHookShoot, or scan the QR code right in the corner of your screen, and right there if I can point. Yeah, you'll find links to pretty much everything having to do with the show, and if you ever want to shoot me an email, it's catchhookshoot@gmail.com. So let's dive into all the wrestling news from last week, starting it off, like always, with the lead story. So the lead story is CM Punk and MJF. I have been looking forward to this feud, and the kickoff for it has not disappointed. Previous week, of course, we saw Punk just kind of come out and just kind of stare down MJF a little bit, kind of laugh at him. This week we actually had some back and forth between the two of them, and Punk and MJF are two of the best currently on the microphone. I mean, this was like a 20-plus minute promo segment, and it held my attention. I think for anybody to talk for 20 minutes and be able to hold the audience is definitely a talent and a skill, and these guys, they killed it. This, just some of the back and forth, some of the little digs at each other, Punk calling MJF a less famous Miz, and that kind of stuff. It was a damn good segment. Probably one of the, if I'm giving out awards, that is probably getting promo of the year with those two guys. So, CM Punk, MJF, cannot wait to see where this is going to go with these two, and I can't wait to see the match when it finally happens. I'm guessing it's probably not going to happen until a pay-per-view, but, you never know. With AEW, they may put it on like a special edition of Dynamite or something, because their next pay-per-view isn't coming up till February, so I don't know if they'll drag it out that long with them not being in the ring with each other or having a match, but we'll have to see. Either way, I'm excited to see it. So let's get into our next segment here, which is the match of the week. So the match of the week, remember this is for last week, is Bryan Danielson and Colt Cabana from AEW. I mean, this kind of surprised me. I mean, obviously, I know Colt Cabana's a good wrestler. Bryan Danielson, arguably the best wrestler in the world right now. But these two guys put on a fantastic match, and Colt Cabana actually got a tooth knocked out in the course of this match, which Danielson was pretty proud of. I'm liking the new, the kind of heel turn from Bryan Danielson that we've seen, and I'm wondering if he's going to be a full-on heel or if he's going to kind of be like a tweener or what it might be. But I'm definitely liking the new kind of attitude we're getting from Bryan Danielson. So if you have not seen this match yet, Colt Cabana versus Bryan Danielson, definitely go back and check it out. It's worth the watch. It was a great match between these two guys. Obviously, they know each other very well, both longtime veterans in the business, and just an awesome match between these two guys. And this is kind of like the next step of Danielson working his way through the Dark Order. He's, fighting all the Dark Order guys in their hometowns, and thus far has been defeating them. So, and this is all leading up to his eventual world title match with Hangman Page. So, yeah, like I said, definitely go back and check that one out. Bryan Danielson versus Colt Cabana. So next up on the show is my top 3 highlights of the week, and that is called the 3 count. First up on the 3 count, Liv Morgan and Becky Lynch. I'm liking where this is going so far. I like the fact that Liv Morgan is finally getting a little bit of a push into the title picture. And the confrontation that her and Becky had last week on Raw. Now remember, this is last week, not this past Monday. We'll get to that on Sunday's show coming up when we're back on track. But yeah, the confrontation they had backstage, Becky talking all kinds of trash to Liv Morgan, saying that she's, an embarrassment, and she even bringing up Ruby Soho and the Riot Squad and, Sarah Logan and everything, saying that she's an embarrassment to her friends who aren't here anymore. And Liv Morgan just hauled off and slapped the hell out of Becky Lynch. And so I like the way this is building to this eventual title match between the two. Number 2 on the 3 count, Dante Martin signs with Team Taz. Team Taz been recruiting Dante for the last couple weeks, and, Leo Rush has kind of been trying to keep Dante away from Team Taz. And this week they presented Dante with a contract, and he signed it. So Dante Martin, part of Team Taz. Now, I got to wonder what this is going to do when Darius Martin eventually returns from his injury. Are we still going to see Top Flight as a tag team? Are we going to see possibly a rivalry or a feud between Dante and Darius? That would make for some very, very interesting matches. Or is Darius going to sign with Team Taz, and we'll see Top Flight as part of Team Taz with Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Stark and Hook, and who knows? So I'm curious to see where this is going to go. And number 3 on the 3 count, we saw a face-off between, in my opinion, one of the best tag teams of all time, Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, and this was during a match on AEW Dynamite. And you had Arn on one side for Cody, you had Tully on the other side for FTR. This was an 8-man tag, and getting right up in each other's faces. And I'm still wondering, we're talking about the Horsemen here. Could we be close to seeing Arn Anderson turning on Cody Rhodes and joining the side of Tully and FTR? Would not surprise me, and I think the fans would go crazy for it, because I think everybody's been expecting it ever since Arn was announced as the head coach, as it were, for the Nightmare Family. So it's one of those wait and see kind of things. But I think people are kind of itching for it. They're waiting for that Arn Anderson heel turn. They're waiting to see the enforcer do what he does best, and kind of screw over his in this case his protege. So I'm again interested to see where this is going to go. So let's get into other stuff that's going on around the world of pro wrestling here. Last week we saw new women's tag team champions in WWE, Carmella and Zelina Vega, or Queen Zelina, as she is now known. And apparently she's British now, okay? But defeated Rhea Ripley and Nikki ASH for the women's tag team titles. Dana Brooke is the new 24/7 champion. Sami Zayn wins the number 1 contendership by winning a battle royal in rather underhanded fashion. And we found out that Brock Lesnar is returning this week on Smackdown. So we'll have to see, is he gonna? I'm sure he's gonna be continuing his rivalry with Roman Reigns. And as far as NXT, they have their Wargames event coming up this week, actually on Friday of all days. It's kind of weird, but let's run down the card here real quick. Cameron Grimes taking on Duke Hudson in a hair versus hair match. Duke Hudson last week on NXT cut Cameron Grimes' hair, so now we've got a hair versus hair match with these two. We've got Imperium defending the NXT tag team titles against Kyle O'Reilly and Von Wagner. Excuse me. Roderick Strong defending the Cruiserweight Championship against Joe Gacy with Harland in his corner. I'm liking Harland. I'm anxious to see, when and if he strikes out on his own, because he's being presented as just a complete monster. So, I'm interested to see where they're going to go with him in the long run. And then we've got 2 Wargames matches, a women's Wargames match, which is Raquel Gonzalez, Io Shirai, Cora Jade, and Kaylee Ray. Pretty damn good team there. taking on Dakota Kai and Toxic Attraction, Mandy Rose, Gigi Dolan, and JC Jane. And then on the men's side, we've got Team Black and Gold, which is Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Pete Dunne, and LA Knight, kind of the old school NXT, if you will, except for LA Knight. I'm not sure he fits that, excuse me, that particular description. I mean, he's been in NXT a fairly short time, though he did start, obviously, when NXT was still the Black and Gold, so... but then they're taking on Team 2.0, which is Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, Grayson Waller, and Tony D'Angelo. So, kind of hard to pick a winner in this. I kind of want to say 2.0 is going to end up winning just to establish the new NXT, as it were. So that I think that's the most likely outcome. But you never know. I mean, the team of Ciampa, Gargano, and Dunn and LA Knight, that is a hell of a team. It's specifically just Ciampa and Gargano. I mean, DIY on the same side again. That's huge. So, yeah, really hard to pick a winner in that one. Some AEW news from this week. Thunder Rosa advanced in the TBS Championship Tournament with a win over Jamie Hayter, who in turn walked out on Britt Baker and Rebel, kind of blaming them for her loss, because, of course, they were trying to interfere and help her out, and it kind of backfired. So, yeah, Jamie Hayter walking out on Britt Baker and Rebel. Tony Nese is going to challenge Sammy Guevara for the TNT Championship this week. Tony Nese, of course, been seen in the crowd the last several weeks at AEW events, and he put a little bit of a beating on Sammy Guevara backstage when the match was announced. So, but I'm fairly certain Guevara is still going to retain, but that seems to be the new norm for bringing in new names into AEWs to have them challenge for that TNT Championship right off the bat, because there is an open challenge out there by Sammy Guevara to defend the title against pretty much anyone. So I think that's a good vehicle for bringing in new people, is put them right in there with Sammy Guevara, who is one of the best young stars in AEW. And then during that same 8-man match where we saw Arn and Tully face off a little bit, Andrade DDT'd Cody Rhodes on the floor, like on the exposed concrete, and it just looked nasty. And this is leading to an Atlanta street fight this week on AEW Dynamite, tonight as a matter of fact, as I'm recording this. And then Riho got a win over Britt Baker on Rampage, so she will get a future championship match. Riho, of course, was the first AEW Women's World Champion. Never really got her rematch after she lost that title, so I'd say she's due for another shot. Some MLW news. They aired the episode this week where a new national openweight champion was crowned, and that was Alex Kane, won the title in a multi-man ladder match. NWA has their Hard Times 2 pay-per-view coming up on Saturday, and this is a huge card, and it's almost all title matches. This is insane. NWA has a lot of championships, I'll put it that way. They are going to be apparently reintroducing the NWA World Junior Heavyweight Championship, and there's going to be a qualifying gauntlet match for that. Alex Taylor versus Arya Davari, C.W. Anderson, Darius Lockhart, Homicide, Jeremiah Plunkett, Jamie Stanley, Kerry Morton, Luke Hawx, PJ Hawx, Sal Renaro, and Victor Benjamin. Personally, I'm pulling for Victor Benjamin in this one because he's a Warrior Wrestling alum. I've called a few of his matches. Very nice guy. Very, very outstanding wrestler. And, I'd love to see him take that title. Then for the World Heavyweight Championship, Trevor Murdoch defending against Mike Knox. That should be just a brawl with those two guys. Tyrus is going to be defending the Television Championship against Scion, and with the Pope as the special guest referee. So that should make things interesting there. NWA World Tag Team titles, La Rebellion defending against The End. Then we have Camille defending the NWA Women's World title against Melina. Chris Adonis defending the National Heavyweight title against Judas. The Hex, Allison Kay, and Marty Bell defending the Women's Tag Team Championships against Kylie Ray and Tootie Lynn, and Lady Frost and Natalia Markova in a triple threat match. Then we have a match for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles. OGK, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett defending against Aaron Stevens and JR Kratos, former NWA Tag Team Champions. Then we have another qualifying match for the Junior Heavyweight Championship. Austin Aries taking on Rhett Titus. Definitely pulling for Rhett Titus in that one. Then Nick Aldis taking on Tom Latimer. And some stipulations in this one. Neither man is allowed to have anyone at ringside. And if either man is disqualified, they're suspended for 8 weeks. And Aldis and Latimer, of course, both former partners. So this... yeah, should be a really good match between those two guys. I would pick that as the early contender for match of the night on this show. Colby Carino taking on Doug Williams. Mickie James defending the Impact Knockouts Championship against Kiera Hogan. And then Jax Dane versus Matthew Mims with Crimson in his corner. So a huge card for NWA Hard Times 2 coming up on Saturday. And then just a few miscellaneous things here. Kenny Omega has relinquished the AAA Mega Championship, and this was shortly after he lost the AEW World Championship. Omega going to be out, taking care of some injuries. I believe he said he had to have surgery, so he's gonna be out for a good little while. It would appear. And then, I don't know what the hell was going on last week on Monday Night Raw, but fans are just going nuts. Seth Rollins got attacked on his way back to the dressing room by an idiot fan who decided he was just going to come running up and spear Rollins, and Rollins basically grabbed him in a guillotine choke and held him there until security grabbed him. And then Montez Ford, I believe this was during a dark match, had a fan just verbally harassing him. And I mean, there were a couple fans who got this on video and posted it on social media, and the guy literally came down out of the stands, got right up to the barricade, getting in Montez Ford's face, and even MVP, was getting back in the guy's face. So I don't know what the hell is going on with the fans at Monday Night Raw, but stay in your freaking seats. I mean, it's not that hard. Cheer and boo all you want. Hate the guys you don't like, and talk all your trash, but stay in your friggin' seat. My God, how stupid do you have to be to try to jump a guardrail? I think Bully Ray said it best on Busted Open not long ago. The security's not just there to protect the wrestlers; they're there to protect fans from the wrestlers. If you're stupid enough to hop that guardrail, because you will get yourself hurt, and honestly, you'll deserve it at that point. So that's gonna do it for the wrestling news for the week. So right now I'm gonna throw it over to Charlie G, and he is here with the Indie Cut.
Thank you, Tom, and hey there, wrestling friends. I'm Charlie G with this week's Sleepy Saturday Indie Cut. We begin with Saturday, November 20th, and Rev Pro live in Huntington 3, where Chuck Mambo TK Cooper defeated Brandon White and Doug Williams. Mike Bailey defeated Callum Newman. Alex Coughlin and Carl Fredericks defeated Kenneth Halfpenny and Sean Jackson. And then the main event was Connor Mills and Michael Oku and Shoto Umino defeating Kyle Fletcher, Mark Davis, and Will Ospreay. So Will did not actually win in the main event for a change. Back here in the States, the United Wrestling Network Red Carpet Rumble 2021 from Commerce, California on Fight TV. EC3 defeated Slice Boogie. And for the UWN television title in a street fight, Papo Esco defeated champion Levi Shapiro to become the champion. And then they had a Red Carpet Rumble match where Jordan Clearwater won that. To St. Louis Anarchy Mega Ticket from Granite City, Illinois. Warhorse defeated Kevin Lee Davidson in a four-way match. Billy Starks defeated Everett Connors, Greg Jovi, and Thomas Shire. And for the Gateway Headers title in a street fight, Gary J defeated champion Jeremy Wyatt to become the champion. To No Peace Underground, the Negatives from Newport, North Carolina, on the GCW YouTube channel. Yep, this show is on YouTube for change. So we had Cole Radrick versus Jason Drake versus Jason Gorey. Of course, I did not get the results of that, so I'm guessing Cole won that one. And a Ring of Honor Pure Rules title match. Champion Josh Woods defeated Ricky Shane Page in 15 minutes, so that'd be a good one. And Randy West defeated Colby Carino. To Mission Pro Wrestling, See the Shining Sea from Conroe, Texas. This is Thunder Rosa's promotion, so this had to be really good. Rochelle Chanel defeated Jada Jang. Jasmine Allure defeated Sky Blue. For the tag team titles, Charlotte Renegade and Robin Renegade defeated Big Mama and Riley Matthews. Sorry about that. And for their title, Champion Holiday defeated Maddie Rankowski. And in the main event, it was Thunder Rosa defeat Laney Luck. And I saw a clip where Thunder Rosa speared Dave LaGreca into a pretty much a wall of beer cans, so that was pretty funny. So Thunder Rosa still going after LaGreca and vice versa. So, all fun. To ICW No Holds Barred, Volume 20 from Chattanooga, Tennessee, on IWTV. So if you want to see the rest of the show, please do. But I saw this match, luckily enough. PCO defeated Calvin Tankman in a 15-minute Rock'em Sock'em Big Hoss match. So check that out if you will. Head over to Defy Wrestling and Brutalist from Seattle, Washington. I believe some of these matches are on YouTube on Defy, so check that out. Leo Rush defeated Titus Alexander. For the Defy Tag Team titles, champions Eddie Pearl and Ricky Gibson defeated Tuvalu and Kamana. Sorry, I pronounced those wrong. The Briscoe brothers, Dre and Mark Briscoe, defeated Ethan HD and Shaft. Nick Wayne defeated Joey Janela in 33 minutes. I heard this match was awesome, and this is the one I saw on YouTube, so check that out. And then we had Brody King defeated Tom Lawler. That had to be pretty good as well. Down to CMLL. And we still got the United Empire of Jeff Cobb and TJP defeating El Terrible and Euphoria. Still in Mexico, we have AAA. Lady Flammer, Lady Maravilla, and La Hydra defeated Aramis, Mr. Iguana, and Nino Hamburguesa. So the three women beat up the three dudes with attitude, you might say. Then we had Dave the Clown, Murder Clown, and Mr. C's Jr. defeating Ariz, Argenis, and Latigo. That's pretty good. Then we have Vikingo, Octagon Jr., and Psycho Clown defeating Rey Scorpion, Taurus, and Viano III Jr. Of course, all three of those matches are really good. To Sunday, November 21st, and Stardom Wrestling, Starlight Kid defeated Ruaka and Waka Tsukiyama. Konami made her return, defeating Lady C. So pretty easy match for her return. Saya Kamitani defeated Saki Kashima. Himeka Natsupoi and Siri defeated Mai Sakura, Tam Nakano, and Unagi Sayaka. That was a really good match there. Then Hazuki Kaguma and Mayu Iwatani defeated Azumi, Momo Watanabe, and Utami Haishita. So those last two matches were really good on this show. Over to Rev Pro Uprising 2021 from London, England. They did a bunch of live shows this weekend, so this is nice to see. Chuck Mambo and TK Cooper defeated Alex Coughlin and Carl Fredericks. For the Rev Pro Undisputed British Women's title, champion Alex Windsor defeated Debbie Cartel. For the Rev Pro Undisputed British Cruiserweight title, champion Michael Oku defeated Mike Bailey. For the Rev Pro Undisputed British Tag Team titles, Ricky Knight Jr. and Roy Knight defeated champions Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis to become the champions. So part of Empire lost their titles. And then for the Rev Pro Undisputed British Heavyweight title, champion Will Ospreay defeated Shoto Umino in an awesome match there. To the spoiler alert, if you want to wait for PWG to come out with their DVD, don't listen to this recap, but This is the It's a Long Way to the Top If You Want to Rock and Roll from Los Angeles, California. We had Aramis defeating Jack Cartwheel, Lee Moriarty defeating Kevin Blackwood, Leo Rush defeating Davey Richards. Dragon Lee defeated Demonic Flamita and Ray Horace. Jonathan Gresham defeated Daniel Garcia by referee's decision. That'd be a very interesting match to say the least if that happened. For the PWG World Tag Team titles, champions Brody King and Malachi Black defeated Anthony Henry and JD Drake. And for their PWG World title, champion Bandito retained against Alex Shelley. 25 minutes, that had to be really good. To Firestar Pro Wrestling, Star Power from Greensboro, North Carolina. Jay Lethal made an appearance defeating LeBron Cazone. So I figured throw that in there, saying that Jay is doing a bunch of indies out there now, as long as AEW. We go up to All Heel Wrestling, Fall into Chaos Episode 1, or Show 1, from Libertyville, Illinois. For the Change of Fortune title, Flex Malone won that. For the Midwestern title, Vic Capri won that. For their tag titles, the Foley brothers of Mo Foley and Pit Stain are the new tag team champions. For their heavyweight title in a three-way match, Gunnar Wicks won that. For the women's title, Raven Radix defeated Blair Onyx to become champion. And for their death match title, Dysfunction defeated Tyler Baggins. Always nice to support Illinois promotions, so there you go. Down to Mexico and CMLL. United Empire of Jeff Cobb and TJP defeated El Terrible and Hichiro. I believe I said that one okay. On to Tuesday, November 23rd, in Tokyoshi Pro. I believe 2021 Autumn Show 10, I believe. Yuka Sakazaki defeated Mizuki. That'd be really good. Shoka Nakajima defeated Yushu Endo and Raku. Hyper Musao and Miyu Watanabe defeated Mahiro Kiru and Yuki Kanfuku. Akari Noah, Marika Kobashi, and Mizuki defeated Hunan Echo, Naika Kuda, and Nozoka Tenma. So Mizuki was okay. That's probably the first match. Probably was wrong then. Maki Udo and Miyo Yamashita with Suzumi defeated Moko Miyamoto, Rika Tatsumi, and Yuki Aino. Fun show, of course, from them. Staying in Japan, we have Sendai Girls from Tokyo, Japan, at Kurgan Hall. So this is one of their big matches, big shows of the year. Asuka and Saki Aki defeated Dash Chikusako and Mika Iwato. And for the Sendai Girls tag titles, Chihiro Hashimoto and Yu defeated champions Andres Miyagi and Hibiki to become new champions. Wednesday, November 24th, and SCW Pro Wrestling, Turkey Town Throwdown from Rock Island, Illinois. Pretty cool name there. For their SCW Pro Iowa title, champion Josh C defeated JT Energy. For their heavyweight title, champion Johnny Wisdom defeated Corn Boy. And for the Fans Bring the Weapons tag team match, Dante Leon and Shane Hollister defeated Connor Braxton and Matt Cage. Over to Lucha Libre and Laughs in the Red from Denver, Colorado. For their tag titles, Lilith Grimm and Reagan Grimes defeated champions Bruce Rogers and Hunter Gray to become the champions. For the women's title, champion Heidi Howitzer defeated Christy James. Sorry to see that. And for their heavyweight title, champion Royce Isaacs defeated Arya Davari. So Davari has been making his rounds these days. Nice job on him. To Thursday, November 25th, Tokyo Oshi Pro All Rise 2021 from Corrigan Hall as well. Marika Kobashi and Moko Miyamoto defeated Yushu Endo and Suzumi. Haruno Neko, Mahiro Kiru, and Nao Kakuta defeated Pam Harajuku, Raku, and Yuki Aino. The Happy Lucky Quiz match. Yuki Kamafuku defeated Haku Masao. I'm glad I did not see that match yet, because it's always goofy. Shoko Nakajima defeated Nodoka Tenma. Rika Tatsumi defeated Yuki Arai. For their International Princess title, champion Hikari Noa defeated Miyu Watanabe. Really good match. And for the Princess Tag Team titles, champions Mizuki and Yuka Sakazaki defeated Maki Ito and Miyu Yamashita. So I'm guessing Maki caught the pin on that one. Back here in the States, and Figure Wrestling Federation Live 2 from Hicksville, New York. I'm not sure where this was shown, but this had to be like afternoon or something, because some of these guys made it to Beyond Wrestling, and I'll get to that in a minute. For their FWF tag title in a four-way match, the Headbangers of Mosh and Thrasher are your new champions, defeating Bobby Orlando, Bryce Donovan, Jay Lyon and Midas Black, and Eric James and Jack Tomlinson. So the Headbangers are still up and running, being tag team champions. VSK defeated Mark Sterling. Max Caster defeated Jay George. For the Interstate title triple threat match, Heath, which is Heath Slater, defeated Aaron Rourke and Johnny Clash to become champion. Matt Cardona with, I believe, his dad and Chelsea Green defeated the Big O. So that had to be really cool for Thanksgiving. Brian Myers defeated Tatanka. Man, I want to see this show, don't you? And then for FWF title in a battle royal, VSK won that. It'd be really cool. And talking about Beyond, Uncharted Territory Season 3, Episode 8 from Worcester, Mass. on IWTV. Alec Price defeated Matt Taven. Like I said, Alec is the one to beat, I guess, in the East. For the Pan-African World Superior Wrestling World Title match, champion Trish Adora retained against Shug D. A really good match there. Max Caster defeated Teddy Goods. So, like I said, Max is at that show in New York. For the Discovery Gauntlet, Jay Cruz and Victor Chase finally beat Jalen Brandon and Trayvon Jordan, who've been winning for like the last 4 weeks. Masa Slamovich defeated Charlie Evans. And Ryan Gallione defeated Mike Bennett. Can't win them all there. So the OGK can't win at Beyond Wrestling. Yeah, okay. To Friday, November 26th, and WrestleCade, 6th Annual Showcase of Champions from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, on Fight TV. We had Ohio Valley Wrestling Rush title. Champion Gustavo defeated Colby Carino. For the NGW title, champion Matt Cross retained against Hayden Sade. For the PWF Undisputed title, champion Bojack defeated JD Drake. For the VPW Heavyweight title, champion Sean Legacy defeated Anthony Henry. For the ASW Heavyweight title, champion Davey Richards defeated Axton Ray. For the IPW Women's title in a three-way match, Kenzie Page defeated Jordan Grace and Kylan King to become new champion. I call that a bit of an upset there. And for the Ring of Honor World 6-man tag titles, Shane Taylor Promotions of Khan, Moses, and Shane Taylor defeated Caprice Coleman, Tim, and Zuka King. So like they said, Shane Taylor wants to go all over the place with those titles, and he's starting out. To Absolute Intense Wrestling, Hell on Earth 16 from Lakewood, Ohio, on IWTV. An Intense Rules match, Matthew Justice with Bill Alfonso. Defeated Psycho Clown. A real cool match there. Tables, chairs, doors, guardrails, I believe. A real good match. And then the next match was Intense Rules match, and not as good. Kaplan defeated PCO. I guess PCO just was not with it. And then in the main event was Joshua Bishop and Wes Barkley with the help of the Mrs. Dad. Yep, Mrs. Dad was front row and helped defeat Matt Cardona Marino Tangalaya and Philly Collins. Kind of a fun six-man match there. Surprised to see the Miz's dad get involved, but hey, it's the Miz's dad. What do you want, right? To Marionette Park, Illinois, and AAW Pro Windy City Classic 16 on Fight TV. Awesome show. Someone said it was too long. Dude, it was like 3 hours. Get with it. For the AAW Women's Title #1 Contendership 4-way match, Christy Drains defeated Charlie Evans, Lady Frost, and Sierra. Pretty good for a quick 5-minute match. Silas Young defeated the one called Manders. Pretty good there. For the AAW Women's Title, Sky Blue defeated champion Allison Kay to become new women's champion. With the help of Sierra, of all people, she came out to spear Allison Kay as referee was distracted. At the end of the match, Sky Blue's tag team partner for over the summer, Christy James, came out to congratulate her, only to be blindsided from behind, and Christy beat her up. With the help of Ren Jones talking, Christy has a new attitude, and she beat up her buddy. But happy to see Sky finally won a title and got to see the whole match, so I was happy for that too. And a 9-way ladder match. Yes, I said 9-way ladder match. Shaft defeated Braden Lee, Gringo Loco, Josh C., Jake Lander, Mike Hardenbauer, Ren Jones, and Storm Grayson. During the match, Gringo Loco and Jake Lander were on a ladder and it collapsed. That was dangerous. Not planned. It just right in the middle. I thought Jake was really badly injured. He took some bumps in this match. I don't know what he was thinking, like he was a Hardy Boy or something. But he stood out. I give him props. But Shaft, if you want her there. In a Bourbon Street fight, Ace Austin and Myron Reed defeated Hakeem Zayn and Karam for the AAW Tag Team titles. Oh boy, the local let's say jerk Ace Perry teamed with Alexander Hammerstone, who was a surprise, defeating Dante Leon and Jake Something to become new tag champions. Dante is still filling in for Stanley and Rogers, or whatever you want to call him. So Hammerstone and Ace Perry, and Hammerstone didn't look happy he was tag team champion with him, but he did it to get in the door and get a title, so he got it. To AAW Heavyweight Title #1 Contendership 4-way match, Rick Swann defeated Brody King, Davey Vega, and Josh Alexander. Alexander was supposed to be in this match, but he was hurt, so Davey took his place. So Rick Swann is your #1 contender. And then for the AAW Heavyweight Title, Matt Fitchett finally defeated champion Freddie Ahai to become new champion. And of course, at the end of this match, Rick Swann came out, Shaft came out, and someone else came out to all try and get after. Oh, Davey Vega came out to kind of congratulate his old tag team partner, but not. Kind of a crazy ending there. A really good match between these two. Check that out if you can. The whole show, AAW Pro, great job. Wish we could call them a show. It'd be great because I enjoy them. Down to Mexico and COLL, where they had a Torneo La Enda Azul 2021 Cybernetico match. El Soberano Jr. won that. For the NWA World Historic Welterweight title, best 2 out of 3 falls match, of course, champion Valadar Jr., who's champion, defeated TJP. That had to be really good. Lastly, in other news, don't forget next Saturday, December 4th, is Triple Mania Regia, where Psycho Clown Pagano and Cain Velasquez take on Rey Scorpion, Taurus, the Toros, and LA Park. For the AAA Tag Team titles, champions FTR go against the Lucha Brothers. Dragon Lee and Jalistico take on Laredo Kid and a surprise luchador. Can't wait to see who that could be. And then for the AAA Mega Championship, since Kenny Omega cannot perform, it's Vikingo, Samurai Del Sol, or Kalisto if you call him, Jay Lethal, Bobby Fish, and lastly, Bandito. Talk about awesome, and Triple Mania is also going to be on Fight TV with English and Spanish commentary. So check that out if you will. It's just these 4 matches for $20. That match alone is $20, I think. I'm pulling for Bandito so he can show up to Warrior Wrestling with the Triple Mania Mega Championship. Only one can hope, but I think the Kingo's winning that one, since he should have won it back in November, like I said. But okay. And then lastly, GCW sold out the Hammerstein Ballroom with over 2,100 tickets. Not 21,000, 2,100 tickets. And as I said last week, they will be holding a Indie Wrestling Hall of Fame the night before the Hammerstein show. First off, it's Jerry Lynn, Homicide, Ruckus, and Dave Prazak. So those 4 right now. I'm sure more to come, but I say that's a good 4 to start with, right? Oh, that's it for me. Till next time with more show results and recaps. And hopefully it won't be as cold next week or sleepy. Don't forget to keep enjoying wrestling how you like it, wherever you can, however you can. Thank you for watching or listening. Hope you enjoyed the cut. Keep safe, take care, and be kind to everyone. Back to you, Tom.
All right, thank you once again, Charlie. And so let's keep things rolling right along where I get into my kind of, not really rankings, but just who I thought had the best week in wrestling, and that's the top 5. Alright, so starting off the top 5, gotta go with MJF and CM Punk. That, like I said, that was one of the best promo segments I have ever seen. I would dare say probably the best promo segment since the CM Punk pipe bomb. I mean, if you can think of a better one between then and now, please let me know, because I've forgotten about it. But, yeah, just, like I said, right now, probably the 2 best on the microphone are CM Punk and MJF. And I'm talking wrestlers. I mean, obviously, Paul Heyman is probably the best on the microphone, but he's a manager. I'm talking wrestlers. Punk and MJF, definitely the top 2 in my opinion. Next up on the top 5, Alex Kane, brand new MLW National Openweight Champion. And, yeah, great ladder match. If you haven't checked that one out, go check, go give it a look. But, yeah, Alex Kane, new MLW National Openweight Champion. Next up, Riho, earning herself a Women's World Championship match with a huge victory over Britt Baker. So that should be an interesting match. Like I said before, Riho, first ever AEW Women's World Champion, never got her rematch when she lost that title. So she's definitely due. Obviously, she's only been there sporadically because she does live in Japan, and we all know the travel situation the last year and a half or so, or 2 years or whatever. God, it is almost 2 years. But anyway, so but yeah. Good to see Riho back in AEW, and the match between her and Britt was very good, so can't wait to see it again, this time actually for the title. And rounding out the top 5, Thunder Rosa, like I said, advancing in the TBS Championship Tournament, overcoming the odds, as it were, with interference from Britt Baker and Rebel in her victory against Jamie Hayter. So, yeah, that is your top 5. MJF, CM Punk, Alex Kane, Riho, and Thunder Rosa. So let's get into the next part of the show where I get to play Armchair Promoter, and that is the Fantasy Booker. Alright, so the Fantasy Booker this week, I'm picking one that I think everybody wants to see, and this could break down into an actual fight. Or maybe not, who knows, because it's not something we've heard too much about, but CM Punk and Colt Cabana. Everybody knows the history there. Everybody knows they, best of friends for however many years, and had a bit of a falling out over the legal issues that arose after Punk was on Cabana's podcast talking about when he left WWE and kind of disparaging WWE medical staff and all that kind of stuff. And, yeah, like I said, major falling out between the two. But now they're both part of AEW. And, we haven't heard too much. Are they friendly in the back? Do they just completely avoid each other? Has the issue been resolved? Are they friends again, or what's going on? So, and truthfully, I think it'd just be a damn good match. I mean, like I said, Colt Cabana had the match of the week this week against Bryan Danielson. I'd love to see him in there with CM Punk, because I think it would just be another outstanding match between two fantastic wrestlers. But, the backstory on it just makes it all the more interesting. So, that's definitely something I like to see. It's definitely something that's possible. Will we ever actually see it? Who knows? I mean, it could be one of those situations where they're just kept completely separated at all times in the back. So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, I can't see Tony Khan passing up that opportunity unless both guys are just completely against it and just not comfortable working with each other. Then, I'm sure Tony Khan is going to respect that and just keep them as far apart as he possibly can. But, they've both been in the business a long time. They're both smart businessmen. If Khan came to them and said, hey, let's try this, I think it'd, be good for the company, and the fans will go crazy for it. Who knows? I'd love to see it. Hopefully it'll happen one of these days. So yeah, that's your fantasy booker for this week. CM Punk versus Colt Cabana. Tony Khan, book it. So let's get into my last segment of the show here, where I espouse a bit of an unpopular opinion, and that's the weekly hot take. So my hot take for this week: Bryan Danielson is a better heel than he is a face. Go back and look over the course of his career, especially in WWE. Look at the times that he was a heel. I mean, yes, he was hugely over as a babyface. I'm not denying that. The Yes Movement literally got WWE to change their plans because the fans wouldn't accept anything else. That's never happened before or since, at least not to my recollection. So I'm not saying he's a bad babyface, but I'm saying he's a better heel. I like him better with that edge to him, with that attitude like he's got right now, bragging about knocking out Colt Cabana's teeth. And, basically he's one of those heels that just pisses you off with honesty. He's like, I said I was going to kick his head in, and I did. And I kicked his teeth out too. I said I was going to beat him in his hometown, and I did. Those are probably the kind of heels, at least for me, that I hate the most, are the ones that just kill you with the truth and with honesty. And they talk all this crap and they can back it up, and that just pisses you off. That to me is the best kind of heel, and that is exactly the type of heel that Bryan Danielson is, or is working towards right now. So that's like I said, it's just my opinion. I'm not saying he's a bad babyface at all, because he's not. He's very good as a babyface, but personally, I think he is better as a heel. Just because of everything I just said. He's one of those that kills you with honesty. He's got the the whole vegan environmentalist thing to use against the crowd, which he did in WWE, to say that he's better than everybody and all that stuff. So he's got a lot of the right tools that the best heels throughout history have had. So yeah, that's my take. Bryan Danielson is a better heel than he is a babyface. So that is going to wrap things up for this week. Again, I'm sorry for how late the show is in coming out, but at least I got it out. And again, I want to thank everybody for watching, listening, and subscribing on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts from. Head to catchhookshoot.com to find all the podcasts and videos and interviews and merchandise. ProWrestlingTees.com/catchhookshoot for merchandise you won't find on the website. And you can find all that and a whole lot more at Linktree/catchhookshoot. Or if you watch on YouTube, scan the QR code right there in the corner of your screen. You can find us on social media on all platforms at CatchHookShoot. And if you want to ever shoot me an email, it's catchhookshoot@gmail.com. So I'm going to wrap things up for this week. Hope everybody's having a great week so far and are enjoying all the wrestling that we're seeing this week. Make sure to check out Wargames on Friday. Wargames matches from NXT are always fun. But hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving, has a great week, and I will talk to you guys soon.